Hello everyone, I'm Hyrule Gamer and welcome to another The Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild video. As you can see from the title down below, I'm going to be talking about some of the new screenshots we've got recently from 1. Game Informer and 2. Nintendo. I'm just going to be talking about basically what I think they are, if they could mean anything really important to the game, and basically just my general thoughts about them. But before I get into the video, don't forget to leave a like down below, it's very much appreciated. Subscribe to the channel if you're new. We recently hit 100 subscribers, which I can't thank you guys enough. It is so appreciated, thank you so much. And with that out of the way, let's get into the video. Before I get into the video, this is a spoiler warning. There is going to be spoilers in this video for The Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild, so if you want to play the game spoiler free, click off the video now. So, the first new image I want to talk about is this one of Link riding a horse through some sort of snow looking area. It actually looks like he's in a cavern if you look really closely. It looks like that those things emerging from the ground, which I thought were trees at first, seem to be leading to some sort of roof. So it looks like he's actually inside some sort of snowy cavern. And I've done a video before about could Breath of the Wild have seasons, where I basically talk about and discuss reasons why Breath of the Wild could feature a season system, and this could be another point to prove why Breath of the Wild could have seasons. We've seen a lot of different sort of screenshots and how the setting is in all of them so far. A lot of them have been sort of looking like they've been set in a spring or summer sort of season, but now we're getting a lot of ones that have been set in snow areas. So whether we're just going to have snow regions in the game, or there's actually going to be a functioning season system, we don't know. Personally, I'm starting to think that there's going to just be regions now, but it's a very interesting screenshot. I really like the look of it. The next screenshot I want to look at is another one from Game Informer, and it's this picture where you can see the big lightning bolt just striking down and hitting what could possibly be a stable in the background. Sorry, not possibly. We can tell it's a stable in the background from the sort of horse-shaped head there in the screenshot, but whether it's actually hitting it or not, we're not sure, or whether it's hitting the trees. We can also see there's a Sheikah shrine in the background, which is really cool. But what I want to talk about is, we know there's going to be a dynamic weather system, which basically means, let's just say lightning's a danger, basically. We know if you're wearing something such as metal armor, you can be struck by lightning. And considering lightning is very dangerous in real life, I'm sure it'll be very dangerous to Link, and I'm sure it can take probably at least 8 hearts or more probably being struck by lightning. And I believe it also it can happen if you just have metal weapons equipped. So if you have a metal sword or a metal shield equipped, I believe they can attract lightning as well. But the way I think it will work is the more metal you have on, so armor would count as more metal basically compared to just the sword or just the shield, or even the sword and shield, and basically there's higher chances of you being struck by lightning, say during a lightning storm or something. But another thing to say is that now we know NPCs and characters or whatever will react to the weather. So for example, if it's raining, they'll go hide in shelter, not hide in shelter, but they'll look for shelter to get out of the rain, and if there's a lightning storm, they'll look to get out of it, so they're not being looked to struck as well. So now it brings more life to the game. It's not just Link that's trying to avoid these dangers, it's everyone in the world. It's one big world for Breath of the Wild. Moving on to the next part of this video, I'm going to now talk about the Koroks and what we've seen of them so far. So we've now been shown a new screenshot from the Legend of Zelda Facebook page, and it's this concept art of the Koroks. Now, I don't have too much to say about it apart from it looks really cool. I really like how they have mushrooms on their head in the art right there, and there. I guess you could say it's on all 3 of the ones to the right. I believe the one on the left's possibly one that's been took from the game, the actual I guess you could say design of the Korok in the game, and the other 3 towards the right are basically what was concept art at one point, but maybe a more developed stage of it, because as you can see they have sort of yellow faces and the ones that look more like art, and then on the one on the very left, which looks more like a Korok taken from the game, it's got a green face. So whether these are different types of Koroks and they both will feature in the game, I don't know. We don't know even, sorry. But personally, to me, yes, these look like very cool sort of concept art. Like I said, I don't really have too much to say about the Koroks and their art, but there is another screenshot which I'm going to put in the screenshot now, which we can talk about a bit more. So, this is the other image that's been released by the Legend of Zelda Facebook page, and I think that this could have something that is strongly related to the Koroks. As we know, there's going to be this thing called Korok seeds, which are sort of, I believe they're sort of like, I guess you could say mini games, but sort of just small things that you find throughout the world, and then these little seeds that the Koroks give you when you find them hidden throughout the world. I think this could be some sort of thing where you maybe bring them all to. I mean, there's nowhere really to put them in, but it could be something to do with that. As we can see, Link is sort of elevated on some sort of platform or the top of some sort of cliff or something, so I think this could just be some sort of thing sort of to resemble them, perhaps a checkpoint or something. I'm not sure. Maybe the leaf changes colours, maybe this can even change the season, I'm not sure. This could be anything really, but I think this has something that is strongly, heavily related to the Korok seeds and what they're going to do in the game. I think this has something to do with it basically. Now, moving on to another section of this video, I'm going to start talking about some of the screenshots that have been released about the enemies in the game. Now, we're coming into a huge spoiler territory, as there is going to be one of the bosses of The Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild included in this, which I will give another spoiler warning right before we get into it, but I've already done 2 at this point, so there's quite a lot of spoiler warnings just for this reason that there's going to be a boss in it. But anyway, as you can see in this screenshot, these are what we know as stall moblins. Now, stall moblins are basically moblins but skeleton versions. This is also going to be happening with bokoblins. There's going to be stall bokoblins, and it basically just means they're in a skeleton form. I mean, that might not actually be what the word stall means, but that's basically what they are, as we know of so far. But we've actually seen these a few times already, I believe anyway. Yes, we have seen them in some trailers in the sort of desert areas, and what I'm thinking is there could be some sort of desert temple. We already know as what are being called the 4 divine beasts: the elephant, the camel, the gecko, and the bird are, I believe it was a gecko anyway, I can't properly remember. I think I might be wrong there though, correct me if I'm wrong. That we've seen a picture of a map, and basically I believe it was Zeltic translated all the highlighting on it, and we got that those are sort of 4 main sort of guardians. And then basically over the period of a few weeks, with all the photos being released, the bigger Zelda YouTubers such as like HMK, Game Over Jesse, Zeltic, those sort of people, and Zelda Master I believe has been on it a bit too, Commonwealth Rim as well, sorry, have basically discovered that these are more than likely going to be the 4 main dungeons. And in Game Informer's time playing it, which they got about 3 hours playing it, they actually got to battle one of the bosses, which we're going to get to very soon, which was more than likely on top of the bird boss, or the bird temple basically. But what I'm thinking is there could be sort of mini temples. There's already going to be over 100 shrines already, so I don't know if there's going to be many temples other than the 4 main ones, but I think there could be some sort of desert temple, or this could be related to the camel one for some sort of Gerudo desert. As we know, the Gerudo ones are commonly associated with stuff like skeletons and stuff, so the stall enemies could basically be in some sort of Gerudo boss, or temple or something like that. Here we go, we're about to get into major spoiler territory, as I'm about to show one of the bosses that has been revealed for The Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild. And here it is. This is what we know as the Wind Blight Ganon, or Wind Blight Ganon, whatever you want to call it. Now, as I was saying in the last screenshot about how the 4 divine beasts could be where the 4 main dungeons are set, or pretty much are where the 4 main dungeons are going to be set, this looks like it could be on top of the bird one, as it looks like Link is somewhere up in the sky. And let's talk a bit more about Wind Blight Ganon. It doesn't look like Wind Blight Ganon has a face, for one. Has a sort of cannon arm for the right arm and some sort of weird left hand, and it looks like it's made of the stuff we now know as malice, which I should have mentioned before. That's basically all that sort of purpley, gooey looking stuff that Calamity Ganon has brought around basically. That is called malice, that we now know. And Wind Blight Ganon just looks so weird, like it looks like part malice, part guardian, and I believe it was another Zelda theorist, I believe it might have been HMK or Zeltic, was talking about this, saying it could have once been some sort of guardian or guardian corruption, and that's got mixed in with the malice and could have created this. And I'm going to extend on that a little, and I think this could be the case with maybe all of the bosses. I think they could all just be maybe Sheikah technology like the Guardians mixed in with malice, and it's just created some sort of beast that Link's going to have to battle for a boss. So that's basically what I think of the screenshot of Wind Blight Ganon. Now, this isn't actually announced as the first boss, it's just the first boss we've seen so far for The Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild. Moving on to the final thing I want to talk about in this video, and that is the wildlife. So as we know already, the wildlife in The Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild is going to play a big role, as there's going to be no heart containers lying about for Link to replenish his hearts. He's going to have to hunt for himself and find food for himself, such as fruits. I believe you can actually get apples, berries, stuff like that, and he's also going to have to hunt to find meat, and he's going to have to cook it. And you can actually create recipes, which is really cool, and it's just going to play such a big role, and it's going to be, I think it's going to be really different, but I think it's going to work really well, and I think it'll fit in really well with how Breath of the Wild is going to be. It's a massive game, as we know already, and I think it's going to work really well. I'm not going to say it's going to be better than the heart system, but that's maybe something to talk about after playing Breath of the Wild, because I'm not sure. I think it could be just as good as the heart system. It could be looked at as a really negative thing, it could be looked at as a really good thing, but that's more of an opinion thing. So the main thing I want to talk about is, we've now found out there's going to be bears, deers and wolves in The Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild. Now I believe the bears and the wolves are more for the colder areas, but we also found out that when you kill these animals, their meat can actually freeze, and that can make the meat last longer. Now I don't know if it's actually going to be a feature. I believe I just actually heard this, but I believe it is very true, and it would be really cool if this is true. The other thing is, oh sorry, there is no other thing. I was just going to say there's horses, but that's something we already know. So that really concludes the video, guys. Also, there was a concept art released of a deer, which I'll put on the screen now. Not really that important, not going to talk about it too much, and that's it really for the video. Before I wrap up the video, I want to say I'm looking to make the channel a bit more sort of professional looking. I want to bring better content to the channel, so if you guys have any suggestions for a sort of series I could do related to The Legend of Zelda, or even The Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild while it's sort of leading up to the release, it would be very much appreciated if you just leave any sort of suggestions of some sort of maybe weekly series I could do to bring some extra content to the channel. I'm also going to be in the process of making a new channel icon and banner, just to make the channel look a bit more nicer, a bit more professional looking, and overall just to make the channel look like a nicer place. And as I already said, if you have any suggestions for any sorts of videos or weekly series I could do related to The Legend of Zelda, please feel free to comment any down below. With that out of the way, let's get to the usual intro. So if you guys are new here, don't forget to subscribe to the channel, it's very much appreciated. Leave a like down below if you enjoyed the video. Comment any sort of videos you would like to see in the future related to The Legend of Zelda or anything Nintendo really, and until the next time, I've been Hyrule Gamer.